Welcome back to the county seat. We are discussing a public-private partnership between Weber County and I guess really some of the other taxing entities and a private developer of Powder Mountain Resort. So, Jan, we left at the end of the last segment talking about a new concept or a new structure called a CDA that will actually involve all the taxing entities in helping move this project along. How does that briefly work?
Well, each one of the taxing entities within Weber County would enter into an agreement if they chose to. Enter into an agreement where a portion of their increased tax dollars, not the existing, but any new tax dollars, would go to incentivize the infrastructure and the build out to encourage this project to move forward more quickly and in a better way.
The percentage would decrease on a timetable, and then the taxing entities would have all of the benefit eventually. After
a period of time, depending on how the contract's entered into, yes, it would end at some time. It's not ongoing forever. It does have an end point.
And that's an important part to consider, is that it's not saying, okay, give us a portion of your tax dollars. It's basically the tax dollars we're generating with the added value.
Yes, it's the increase.
And so I think the key word there being incentivize, as the commissioner used it, because what we're wanting to do is invest in a particular area in a way that will allow us to grow the infrastructure and make an incentive for all of the entities that are involved. So when you talk about a public-private partnership, it's not just Weber County and the developer. There are several partners involved, the Water and Sewer District, the School District, Weber County, and we're hoping to take a minimal investment and turn that into something that makes real sense for our taxpayers. It's really kind of a unique tool that economic development departments throughout the state are starting to use frequently, that helps us to build on that incentive that's offered. For instance, for us, if you look at the roughly 1,100 acres in this development, right now that's generating about $12,000 in property tax if you look at all of the different taxing entities. And we think that by the end of this CDA that we can turn that into $12 million in property tax revenue. So it's a good deal for our taxpayers if we look at what we have now and what we can develop over a period of time by entering into this partnership with the developer.
Well, let's talk about some of the other benefits. You know, obviously people look at the counties and say, okay, all they want is tax base. What does it bring to the communities?
One of the things that it brings to the valley here is pretty much Ogden Valley is a winter activity area. It's a winter resort area. And this would bring it more into a year-round and help some of the small businesses that are in the valley and just really strengthen the economy.
Do many of them struggle in the summertime?
They do, depending on where they're located and what type of business. The majority, I mean, of course you have those that come up and use the reservoir, but it's really not a year-round benefit.
There will be, as they bring on the summer activities and they get the people up here that want to bike, that want to hike and be part of this up here, they're hoping to bring that bridge together so it's not so divided between summer and winter, the activities that we have up here.
Commissioner Bell talked about some of the things that it adds to the community, and I would just say this community has always been concerned about the environment and making and any development that was to happen here being well thought out, well planned, well reasoned, and take into account impacts to the local area and to the environment. And this development has been very well thought out. This particular development has been much more fondly received than other options that we've had in the past. Some of the residents have been very concerned about the mentality of other developers that have come into town, and they seem to be much more receptive to this group.
Why do you think that is?
Well, I think because they seem, first of all, they seem to be genuinely interested in the flavor of the community and in maintaining that. And secondly, it hasn't been the traditional cover the mountainside approach that you would see from a traditional developer. They have been very very interested in making sure that this is something that makes sense for this community. And so they have tailored their needs and their expectations to this community in specific, and I think it's been a real benefit.
Well, and I think the other thing they've done is they've came into our community. There's quite a few members of this group that have been living in our community for a few years, and they've got involved in our community. More than just this project up here, they've got involved with other relationships with other organizations in our community, and I think they've been really part of that. This is a different kind of development they're doing. They, as Commissioner Gibson said, this is not going to be one where they're building these big old 25,000 square foot houses in it. This is a development that is built to fit in and be part of the landscape up here. And as they've thought this out and as they've moved forward, they've taken a lot of the citizens that live up here, they've talked to them, got feedback from them, what they like, what they dislike, and I think that's helped them move through this process.
In total, why did you see the value in doing this to proceed forward? Because typically, the thing that people say is government shouldn't be getting involved in the private sector and competing with it. But obviously, there's an incentive. What would have happened if you hadn't gotten involved?
Well, I'm not sure what would have happened, to be honest, but I see government's role as to situations like this is obviously not to compete with the private sector, but I think more importantly to put in place the right type of infrastructure that allows private investment to be able to thrive in a particular area. And I think that's really what we're looking at here. I mean, we have to compete for good economic development. There's no question about that. And generally that means providing infrastructure. And this is a tool that's been used over the last several years that has become a good tool that I think is becoming more and more prevalent throughout the country. And so this is a good opportunity for us.
Excellent. Well, we will take a break here. We will continue our conversation. We'll look at some of the things that critics have said about it and give the commissioners a chance to address those when we come back here on the county seat. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
How would you spend an extra day in Utah Valley? Stay one more day. Visit utahvalley.com to make reservations. Utah Valley. Bring everyone together.
Almost 45% of the oil produced in Utah, 7.8 million barrels, comes from Duchesne County. That oil feeds our state economy, provides job growth, and supports local business. Here in Duchesne County, we're working to make Utah an economic, cultural, and technological leader. Whether you're here for business or pleasure, Duchesne County will welcome you with open arms and invite you to explore all the beauty of the Uinta Mountains. Duchesne County, close enough for business, far enough to get away.
Have you ever wanted to recreate the world around you? Add some excitement, culture, adventure? Well, there's no need to remake the world when that perfect combination already exists. Just remember 4 words. Welcome to Weber County. In Ogden, you'll find everything you're looking for, from the top of Powder Mountain to the restaurants of our revitalized downtown. Ogden, Utah, mountain to metro and everything in between. Visit Ogden.com.
Check out these pictures from my vacation.
Where did you go again?
Garfield County, you know, like Bryce Canyon, Devil's Rock Garden.
Where's that?
Capitol Reef, Kodachrome Basin, Highway 12.
Wait a minute, I wanted to see more. A picture may be worth 1,000 words, but there's nothing like experiencing the real thing firsthand. Gather your family and see the world's largest concentration of scenic attractions. Garfield County, Utah. Find the ultimate adventure.